Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this Who Attacked Roman Reigns video. I thought we had done this video. I thought we had our answer the other week when Rowan was named as the attacker. But last night on Smackdown Live, Daniel Bryan and Rowan managed to convince Buddy Murphy that he was lying. Managed to beat out of him the fact that he was lying, and they said their suspect will be revealed next week. So Daniel Bryan and Rowan are going to bring their suspect to Roman Reigns next week. So who could it be? We've got 5 names that I've jotted down that I want to go through. There's a few surprises. I've kind of broken this down into different aspects. So I've got a returning superstar. I've got a step up for someone. I've got a surprise. I've got a call up from NXT. But we're actually going to start with the lie. And that is because it could be Daniel Bryan and Rowan. They beat into Buddy Murphy the fact that he was lying. But I don't think he was lying. I think it was Daniel Bryan and Rowan that are responsible for the attack on Roman Reigns. But they're obviously not going to say that next week. So they're going to name someone next week that's a red herring. They're going to name someone next week that's a swerve. It's a lie. It's just intended to get the spotlight off of them. So who could they name next week? What name would Roman really not want to hear? The Fiend. They could definitely name Bray Wyatt next week. Not because it was Bray Wyatt, but just because they want to cause trouble. So it could be that it is Daniel Bryan and Rowan that were responsible. But it might send Roman on a collision course with The Fiend. Next up, they might want to use this as an opportunity to call someone up. Next week, we could see Daniel Bryan and Rowan say, we weren't responsible, but it was this guy. And out steps an NXT call-up. Now, some of you watching might think Johnny Gargano, because it certainly seemed like Johnny Gargano had been called up from NXT. There was an emotional moment at the end of NXT TakeOver. I actually don't think it would be Johnny. It's not really the kind of thing I would expect from Johnny. So I honestly expect, if they're going to go that way, Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa, who's been out injured now for quite a while. He's due a return. He's ready to return. He might return not in NXT, but on the main roster and straight in to one of the biggest storylines that's happening right now. Moving on, I've gone for the surprise. So this would be someone that's kind of seen as a face now being revealed to be a heel. So the kind of people I'd have in mind for this would be like Ali. Ali is a massive face. He's not quite there at the moment. They're still building him. This could be the storyline to really project him to the next level. I kind of feel the same way as well about Apollo. Apollo has been just bobbing around for a long time. Again, he's a face. People like him, but I'm not sure many love the character. Again, this could be exactly what Apollo needs. I would be more tempted to go with Chad Gable. Chad Gable, one of the biggest tag team specialists we've ever seen. Like an absolutely incredible wrestler. Was in with obviously Jason Jordan and American Alpha. He was in with Robert Roode or Bobby Roode at the time when they were in that tag team. Really, since the tag teams have broken up, he's a little bit lost. They don't know what to do with him. He really needs a purpose. And I could definitely see him partnering and siding with Daniel Bryan. So I could see Daniel Bryan saying, our main suspect is this guy, and out comes Chad Gable. Next up, I've got the step up. So these would be heels that are working around the mid-card that are now ready for a feud with the big dog at the top of the card. So there's quite a few names in this list you're really looking at the likes of Lars Sullivan, for example, who kind of came in, had a bit of a feud with Lucha House Party, and now, isn't doing anything. I think he was out injured, but I'm sure he's due his return very soon. But actually, for this category, I've gone with Andrade. Andrade has just finished his little feud with Rey Mysterio. He got the better of that feud. He's ready to step up. So Andrade now being named as the person that attacked Roman, I think would make a lot of sense. Before we get to the final name that I've got on the list, there's a couple of names which I really hope it doesn't turn out to be. Obviously, I don't want it to actually have been Bray Wyatt, but I do like the idea of Bray Wyatt being named and Roman being a little bit uneasy about, well, what do I do now? I think that would be very fun. But I don't want it to actually have been Bray Wyatt. I obviously don't want it to be Drew McIntyre either, because even though a lot of people are kind of expecting Drew to be named, we've already seen that match. We've already seen that feud. Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns is not something that I want to revisit. So I'm hoping that it doesn't turn out to be that. The final person that I think it could be, this is the return. And I've gone with Luke Harper. Luke Harper, I think, makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of people think he's just sitting out his contract. He did ask for his release back in April. I think he still wants to wrestle. And I think if they gave him a juicy storyline like this, something that's already got Rowan involved, who obviously he has a great relationship with, I think it would just make a lot of sense. This would be a great storyline for him. It would really put him right up there at the top of the card. And as we said, he used to be in the Bludgeon Brothers with Rowan. It could be a little bit of heat there, but then it turns out they're working together. There's so much that you can explore with this storyline. I think it's brilliant. I'm really, really on board with it. So there we go. It could be a quick recap that it is Daniel Bryan and Rowan. It could be Tommaso Ciampa. It could be Chad Gable. It could be Andrade. Or it could be a returning Luke Harper. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.